It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz, coming to you from the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building. The number is 1-800-859-0957, 1-800-859-0WJR. Give us a call, give us a text, be a part of the show. The Supreme Court has struck down the core of President Trump's sweeping tariff policy.
How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore. We want you out of here. But if I want to charge them $10, I can't do that. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. But it doesn't matter because we have very powerful alternatives.
Yeah, within hours, the administration announced a new global tariff under different legal authority.
Effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies.
Democrats are sounding off. This is Senator Elizabeth Warren.
When somebody takes money from you illegally, that's called stealing in the United States. And the first rule is you got to give the money back. That money was not legally taken from the American people. It was stolen by Donald Trump. And make no mistake that it has been the American consumer is the one that has paid. The studies show over 90% of the costs of these tariffs have been borne by American families.
And this is Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Donald Trump owes the families of the United States and the families of the state of Illinois what seems to be about $2,000 per household for the illegal tariffs that he put on them. And so I want to know how he's going to provide that money for the taxpayers, for the people of all of our states, but in particular for the state of Illinois.
Yeah, it all raises big questions for everyday Americans. What does this mean for prices, the markets, and your wallet? Joining us now is Dewey Steffen, CEO of Great Lakes Wealth. Good morning, Dewey. How are you?
Well, hey, Kevin, good morning. I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you taking some time for us today. What is your reaction to the Supreme Court's decision and Donald Trump's alternative tariffs?
Well, I guess it's not a surprise. I mean, the writing was on the wall that the Fed, or I should say that the Supreme Court may rule the way that they did rule. And it's certainly no surprise that Donald Trump would, have a backup plan in his pocket and invoke pivoting to Section 122 of the Trade Act. So, here we go, and details to follow, and we'll see where we go next.
Yeah. Do things happen quickly or do they move slowly? How quickly will consumers feel the impact one way or another?
Well, because again, he went ahead and enforced a different ruling, which is basically, there are some differences, but in a general conversation, the same 15% tax or tariff. So immediately, really, you're not going to see any change. The uncertainty and the unsettling, is driving some weakness in the markets today. But in terms of what the consumers will see, whether prices go up or prices come down with the goods that they're purchasing based on tariffs, I don't think you'll see any changes one way or the other anytime soon.
Yeah, the markets didn't do much on Friday as the news broke, but today the Dow is down 746 points, the S&P 500 down 73. Is that all tariff related, do you think?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, the old adage on Wall Street is the markets hate uncertainty, and this is certainly an uncertain situation. So, that just being said, the Wall Street players are just digesting the news and making some changes. So, it's nothing that dramatic on the surface. It might seem so, but not quite yet.
Before the Supreme Court ruling, Donald Trump seemed to have a different tariff for every country. It was a case by case. Now he's talking about a 10% or maybe a 15% global tariff. What does that mean? Is that likely to lower our prices, raise our prices, keep them about where they're at? Did he come up with this number to try and hit a certain number?
I don't know all of that. I mean, we'd have to talk to him and his committee, I guess, to figure that out. But there were a lot of deals that were in place, or are in place, I should say. So, a lot of them were really around that 15% number. And China and some other countries may have been higher. I think England is 10%, but again, there's more details to follow, certainly.
Yeah, for sure. The way you look at tariffs, who do you think pays the tariffs? Do you think the foreign governments are paying them, the corporations, or the American consumers, or a little bit of everybody?
Well, it's certainly a little bit of everybody. I mean, the tariff started where you impose a tax on those foreign countries as their goods are coming in, so they pay that tariff. And then, again, with the tariff, the result of American companies having to import those components, so ultimately prices go up, and ultimately then us as consumers, we pay more. And that was, again, a big story last summer. If it was immediately pushed through to the consumers, other companies said they were going to wait. And so, again, everyone's kind of paying into it, but really to identify who owes what to whom. Again, the Supreme Court, I don't even think they acknowledged that on Friday, which is another piece of the puzzle.
If the tariffs shrink overall, which it seems like that's probably what's going to happen with this ruling, does that reduce inflationary pressure at all?
Well, again, if you do think out, later this year to next year, then we do expect that you will see a cooling of inflation. And yes, prices should trend lower. So again, this is hot off the presses, and you can't really be, making a deep statement on it till you have more data. But yes, we do believe prices will trend lower, and you will see a cooling effect over time.
But boy, if you run a business, you're probably not sure what to do. There's so much uncertainty here, and businesses, they have to make or delay investments. They have to decide whether to accelerate or slow down or just hold steady. How does that impact consumers if businesses are walking on eggshells?
Well, I am a small business owner myself here at Great Lakes Wealth. So again, we don't necessarily buy hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of goods, and services. But in some regards, certainly I'm paying attention to how everything plays out. And as consumers, again, we really want to listen to and pay attention to the, the retailers or the companies that you do your transacting with, to kind of hear what they have to say. And really, Alen, there's a lot of details to follow. So let's just go slow, be steady, and pay attention, and definitely details to follow.
Is that what you tell investors as well? Because there's always risk, opportunity. There's so much noise out there.
Well, again, investing isn't just the stock market. Everyone likes to talk about the stock market and even the Mag 7. And now we might even call it the Lag 7, LAG for lag. But there's 493 other names in the S&P 500. There's also a whole other category called bonds. And we believe bonds are back. And when the Fed cuts rates, which may have nothing to do directly with tariffs, but a softening economy, you have other investments out there. Gold is spiking today. Be wary of all your investments. Please talk to your financial professional and make sure you have a good plan in place. But certainly there's no reason to panic today. Just pay attention and be prepared.
Of course, we're all keeping an eye on the automotive sector. Michigan manufacturers, auto suppliers, really important in this area. But again, it's still sort of developing, and we're probably going to have to see how this shakes out. And we know there's going to be more court cases to follow.
Yes, absolutely. And you'll see some ideas that, steel and those products, and certainly automotives, and, even some of the meats and other produce, we're not going to see any price drops. And those companies and those industries are absolutely, paying very close attention and making sure that they have their, situation and ducks in a row, as they say.
Dewey, Steffen, CEO of Great Lakes Wealth. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. It's All Talk. I'm Kevin Dietz.